Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy Sunday to all of you. This is Christina with the Momathon Diaries, your productivity coach, here this evening for it's not impromptu because I announced it this afternoon, but we don't go live every single Sunday night. So don't look for me every Sunday night at 6. Okay. I'm a pastor's wife for those of you who do not know. And there are some Sundays that are longer for us than others. And so, for that reason, I try to announce when we will be live to do a Sunday evening. Let's prep for the week. Let's see where our minds are, where our to-do lists are, and where our goals are for the week ahead. Okay. If you're new here, if you just happen to stumble here on this live, I'm Christina Garrett. It is my honor to serve all of you as your productivity coach. I am the voice in the back of your mind reminding you that it's okay for you to set lofty goals, work on your vision, craft an ambitious lifestyle, but also still nurture your family and the needs of the people in your home simultaneously. I've been very honored to do this work for over a decade. What? Oh my gosh. And so, because of that, and for that reason, we are not new to this. We are true to this. Okay. I put a post up the other day talking about the conference, which is coming up this October. And I was like, Momathon wasn't a passion project that we started in the pandemic because we were bored. Right? Like it just wasn't. We've been talking about mom life, self-care, productivity for an extended period of time. And so I'm very honored to be able to facilitate these conversations and this work for all of you. Okay. And so tonight, as we plan for the week, as we vision cast ahead for what we want to work on, what we want to see come to life, it is my firm belief that you have to be able to see it before you can see it, right? You have to be able to see it in your mind, feel it in your heart. Good evening. And then really do the work necessary to make sure that what you see is lining up with that vision. Okay. So some of us, we're working on a stronger family life. We're working on growing our businesses. We're working on having better self-care. We're working on getting our homes organized. We have a lot of things that we're working on doing, right? But what we want to do, instead of thinking of only the to-do list, we want to shift and rework some things so that we're only doing the things that matter the most. Yeah. That's what we do here in this space. Okay. So good evening, ladies. Thank y'all for being here. Tonight, we're talking about being committed to the process. Okay. Being committed to the process. So I had an amazing conversation earlier today with one of our new followers. I'd like to reach out to the ladies who follow our Facebook page, who follow me on Instagram, because it really makes for amazing conversation. What in the world brought you here to this page? What made you click like? What made you say, this is somewhere where I should be? What makes you come to every live and follow along with the journey and say, hey, you know what? That's for me. And I believe that this is in alignment with who I'm becoming. What makes you show up here? I also like to know about you all's families, right? I like to know about you guys, what your vision is for the coming year, all of these things that make you special, that make you remarkable, the things that really push you to be who you are. If you're a part of this community, you're here, you follow me for some reason, right? You're like, here comes this sis with really big hair, and she has a lot of children, and she still looks like she has energy, and she's excited about her life and her work. Maybe that's what brought you here. Maybe you're here because you saw productivity and you're trying to figure out, how in the world do I get more done? Maybe you're here because productivity means something different to you, right? And you're trying to figure out what's that next thing. And so I reached out to this sis just to find out who she was. Okay. It's so funny because this happens to so many of us all the time. I asked her about her business, and then she was like, are you going to pitch me in my DMs? And I was so amused. I was like, no, I might follow up with you, like it be a messenger. I was like, but I don't pitch my followers in their DMs, right? Like, if anything, we literally just want to know who you are. We want to know how old your kids are. Hey, everyone. Hey, girl. I was like, we want to know how old your kids are, because all of our content is driven towards women with families. All of our everything that we do, the conference, my coach, everything that you guys get here in this space comes from who you all are as people. If it resonates for you, it comes from that exact place. Hey, girl, hey. And so anyway, I slid in her DMs. I'm talking about you, sis. Slid in her DMs and I was like, listen, tell me about who you are. And so she was sharing about her business and about her ambitions for the year and all these things. And we just had a really amazing back and forth conversation. I promised her I was not going to pitch her, right? I was like, I just don't like, y'all can Google me, right? This sounds bad, but you can totally Google me and see, hey, these are all the things that she does. We just don't pitch people in their DMs, right? Like if you want to work with a productivity coach who got receipts, then y'all know where to find me, right? Just like on this live, you know where to find me. So we were talking and I was just encouraging her in the midst of her making some powerful decisions, right? In the midst of her, she said she didn't pitch me, thank the Lord. That is so funny to me. Okay. So in the midst of this entire conversation, I'm going to try and be quick because I think the iPhone is going to die. I'm on like 3 different devices, guys. So if y'all are here on Instagram and you can go to Facebook, the Momathon Diaries, if you can, okay? Because I'm going to continue to be live there, even if this phone dies. Yeah? Okay. You've been warned. All right. So we're talking about her career and her business and her family. How old are your kids? Like, I really do like knowing about this stuff. I promise y'all, I'm a real person. I go to Walmart. I shop at Aldi because I have 5 kids. You know, they eat pasta every day. Like, I'm just a real person. And so we're talking about her business and her goals. And, you know, it was so incredible because she ended up walking towards some conundrums, right? Like a lot of us that are here, we're in the process of decision making. Hi, Jamie. Good evening, everyone. We're in the process of decision making. For one thing or another, we're always going to come up against a place where we're trying to figure out what we're doing next. Yeah? What is with your family? Whether that is with certain other relationships, maybe it's your business, maybe it's how you're taking care of yourself. It could be so many different things, the reasons why we have these decisions. And I'll tell you something, there's such a thing as decision fatigue. Yeah, such a thing as decision fatigue, where we have so many things on our plate that we just don't do anything. We have so many things on the plate. We just don't do any of it. It's like I'm in freeze mode. So let me just back up a little bit and breathe. And so I encouraged her in the midst of her walking into some interesting decisions to stay committed to her process. To stay committed to the process. One of the things that she shared was that what she's working on in her business, she knows. She said, I know that I'm called to this. I just know it in my soul. She's like, I know it like I know the back of my hand. I feel it in my gut. I know. She put I know like 3 times, just like I said it. She said, I know I'm called to this. And I said, well, then if that's what you know, then you need to be committed to the process, okay? And so tonight, just for a few minutes, I want to share about being committed to the process, okay? If you're watching on Instagram, go to Facebook. Don't say I didn't warn you, okay? The Momathon Diaries on Facebook too. All right, let's get into our live topic tonight, committed to the process. All week, if you go up and down the feed, you will see that we've been talking about operating in hustle energy, okay? We've been talking about how we can take our stamina, our focus, and go so full steam ahead to some new things that what we end up doing is maxing ourselves out, working on stuff that we don't have to do, right? And trying to do all the things instead of really operating in a focused fashion, okay? You can be so eager to get to your destination that you will do anything and everything it takes. Ask some of these sisters who are out here fronting on Instagram. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're on Instagram and some folks are smiling. 1 minute they're talking about me and Bay and we are couple goals. And then the next minute is just her in the picture looking saucy. It's just her in the picture hitting the gym. It's just her in the picture, right? And there's nothing wrong with two people maturing and amicably going their separate ways. That's not what we're talking about. But what we are talking about is when at one point we have family focus, we have our priorities in check. Hey, everyone, we have our mindset on straight. And then we get so eager. We feel like if I don't do all of it right now, I'm going to be late. We feel like if I don't stay up and handle this, and this, I'm going to miss out. We will do all the things in an effort to fast forward ourselves to a destination. Now, there's nothing wrong with working hard. There's nothing wrong with using all of your resources to get where you're trying to go, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But what can happen sometimes, good evening, ladies, is we will begin to look at the people who are in alignment with us, right? The people who God has given us to steward over and love and all this. So we'll start to look at them like they are the source of our problem. Y'all hearing me? Y'all hearing me? Hey, lady. Everybody who's on Instagram, do me a favor. Go to Facebook, okay? Because we're going to be talking for a few minutes, but I think this phone is going to die. So do me a favor, go over to Facebook, okay? The Momathon Diaries there too, all right? Okay, so we can be in such a rush to get to where we're going that we end up spinning out, okay? Then we're trying to figure out what's the fastest way for me to hurry up and get there. And if I don't get there right now, I'm never going to get there. I feel like what I've been doing hasn't been working. It hasn't been producing results yet. So something has to give. I must be doing this wrong, okay? And so tonight, just for a little bit, thank y'all, Instagram, for going to Facebook. We're going to talk about being committed to your process, whatever your process is, okay? Whatever your process is. Can we just all agree that our process to discovery and feeling like we're thriving and not just making it, and we're really striving to something new? Can we all agree that that might look different on each one of us? Can we agree with that? Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining. Can we agree and come to one understanding that what works for Jamie might not work for Shay, and what works for Shay might not work for Rondell, and what works for Rondell might not work for Nikki, and what works for Nikki might not work for Charlotte? Can we all be in agreement that it might look different for everyone? My process, I was sharing before you guys really got on. I was like, listen, like Momathon isn't something that we started because we got bored during the pandemic. For over 10 years, I'm 37. For over 10 years, I have a video. We're talking about committed. I have a video of me in my apartment bathroom recording a short video for Under Armour because they were doing a campaign for What's Beautiful. Okay, they were doing a What's Beautiful campaign. I don't even know if they still do this. I had like a little tiny afro because I had just big chopped, and like a headband and like a little TWA, and I looked like a baby. Okay, like a total baby. I was like 26, maybe. And I was recording in my bathroom because it was the only quiet place for me to record. That was it. It was the only place. I had a 3-year-old son and 1-year-old twins. Sis was tired. Thank God for concealer. Like, what? Really working. We're talking about going through the process. We're talking about being committed. And I recall being in my bathroom and talking about training for my 10K race, half marathon. I remember talking about how I said, I am currently a definition of what's possible, and I'm on my way to becoming so much more of that. At 26, 27, I could see where Momathon was going, but man, it wasn't fully unfolded to me until I started walking in that direction, until I began to see it as there's no other reality but up. I was sharing with my sister, she's also watching this evening, that I didn't start out planning to coach nobody. I started planning to coach anybody. I started off just wanting moms to feel seen. I wanted for busy women who had kids and were tired for them to know that it's okay for you to love being a mom, but not like it every day. I wanted women to know that. I wanted them to feel that and experience that. Okay. And so, in the midst of all of that, God just started doing some incredible things. We hosted our first micro conference in 2016. Fall of 2016, we went viral when my husband was hit by a car crossing the street. And my followers went from like 500 to like 10,000 in a weekend. And I was getting all kinds of emails and tags on Facebook because we were in Fox News all over the country. I had no idea. Wife's testimony of the power of prayer goes viral, right? 2017 conference, whip my tail. This conference whipped my tail. Do y'all hear me? Beat me that? I said, I'll never do this again. Here we are going into year 8. All right. So when we're talking about being committed to the process, it means that I'm relentless in my pursuit of what I see. I am relentless in my pursuit of what I see in my mind. Like, can't stop, won't stop is an understatement. Are y'all understanding? Like, this is, I don't even like, I hope that all my passion inside is like oozing out tonight. All right. So number one, when you're committed to the process, you are committed to powerful decision making. Okay. One of the main, Shay said that's the video she saw. That's how she made it here. But see, and look how far we've come, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's keep going. Committed to powerful decision making is number one. All right. The only reason, or one of the main reasons that we coach, okay, or the reason for a coach. I know I have some different types of entrepreneurs here watching. Good evening. If you're watching on Instagram, come over to Facebook, the Momathon Diaries, because this is going to die soon enough. So one of the reasons that we coach is to help people make decisions, okay? And while it seems so basic, decision-making seems so basic, you would be surprised how challenging it can be to make decisions that work for you, or to make a decision that seems right in this current moment. One of my clients, she's a career coach and she works in HR on the corporate level. And I don't think she's watching tonight. Jamie, tag Tracy into the chat. If you still watching, Jamie, tag Tracy. So we've been working together, and it was such an incredible volcano erupting experience. She was just so excited because she was trying to figure out what to offer people. People would come to her all the time and ask for help and support. And I said, okay, well, listen, part of our decision making is for you to decide on a time period to work with your clients and how much the investment is going to be. Right? It was simplistic. It was easy. It was light, right? It wasn't so heavy, doing so much. Hi, John. It wasn't doing so much that she felt overwhelmed. Okay. It was just making a simple decision. This is what we're going to do. But we would be surprised, and this wasn't the situation with her, but you would be surprised how many of us make a decision, and then that same week, we go back on a decision. The same week. In this current moment, you choose something. And then something feels off. Your brain starts playing games with you, which it does, because your brain is meant to keep you safe and protect you and make you feel comfortable. Homeostasis, right? Your brain is meant to do all of that. And so whenever we begin to reach outside of the normal realms of comfort, then our brains start going haywire. Okay. And they're like, don't do that. Let's go back to being safe. Okay. So when you're committed to powerful decision making, there will be moments in time where it doesn't feel good, where it doesn't feel aligned, when it feels uncomfortable, when I made a choice to invest in myself on a major level. I'm talking about like mastermind, like OMG, I mean, I made the decision and want to puke that much money. Like, I just want y'all to understand, right? But you got to be okay with making the decision and jumping because you believe in yourself. Because you see what can be, what will be, and I'm committed to making decisions surrounding that. Rondell, welcome to the chat, sis. Welcome to Momathon. This is all we do here. We make powerful decisions. Decisions that are going to affect my life, my family's life, my legacy that's coming behind me. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to say this. I know this is for me. This is it. This is it. Like, there's nothing else. What you going to do? Quit? You going to turn around now? And that's one reason I'm specifically talking to my mom entrepreneurs tonight, right? There are a lot of lives where I'm talking to all moms or all kind of women or all these things. Tonight, I'm talking to the women that got a big dream in their heart. And you're trying to figure out the how. You're trying to figure out the how. But can I just be committed that this is it? The how might change. How I've served my clients over the course of time has changed from a $97 offer. Yeah, you can book me for 1 hour. We don't do an hour anymore because we can support you for that hour. But afterwards, your brain gonna go haywire again. We got to coach again next week, mama. This is what it is. Somebody said, speak, you talking to me. Listen, I love y'all. I'm always going to give y'all truth and love, okay? While we're building this epicness, right? So we're working on a conference, which is scaring me in the best ways. October 27th through the 29th in Atlanta. If you're not on our email list, get it together, DM me your email or whatever so we can put you there because the tickets are going to go out to our email list first on March 1st. All right. So in the midst of all of this, and we're building and we're doing all the things, it's like I have to be so committed. This is our 8th year of the conference. 8th year. 8. What? To be so committed to the women who come. My son, who's 12, we're riding to church today, and he was asking me, he said, Mom, do you cry at your conference? I said, well, no, I don't usually cry, but I do feel very emotional. He said, why? He said, because you worked on something and you finished it. I said, yeah. I said, I do feel very emotional. I said, but it always happens during praise and worship, right? So every year, Saturday, we open up the conference with worship. And every woman comes into that room and in that space, and they almost collapse. Like spiritually, it's like I can finally let it go. I've worked so hard to get group to this community. Like I've worked so hard just to make it into this room. And they just let tears fall and we love on each other. And then we go to work, right? It's like breaking up the hard soil before you plant seeds. Like you can't just drop the seeds. That's what the Bible talks about. You can't just drop the seeds on any kind of soil. The soil got to be right. Okay. So as we're working through all of this, I'm committed to making decisions that are best for me, best for my family, best for my home, best for my community. I see Momathon in 2024 already, right? In 2025. Like I see all of this. And I've been sharing with you guys because y'all have seen the transition, right? You guys have seen the process that we've gone through. I'm committed to making decisions that move me in that direction. In 2020, I was like, I want to work with Essence Magazine, right? 2020, that was my, how do I make that happen? In 2022, we did it twice. Now going into 2023, I'm like, how do I get them to invite me for Essence Fest? Not me apply like everybody else. And if I do apply, I already got the hookup to be like, girl, I know you see my name on this application. Don't act like you don't see me. That's what I want, like big shots fired. Okay, this is what we're doing. I'm committed to making decisions that are going to push me forward. All right. So as you guys are working and building and cultivating and you're drawing your vision out, can we say that we're going to make decisions that are going to bring us to the expected end? Okay. The one that God has been talking to us about, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that you dream about. We're not even doing any scarcity stuff for the countdown, all of this. No, everybody who wants to come, I want you there. We're planning for 150 to 200 already. If you're like, I think I sort of kind of might want to, then you're invited. Like, this is it. This is all we're doing. This is it. I'm committed to making decisions that show me my next level. Talking to my event coordinator, and I was like, Teresa, this is big. She said, listen, you're not in the small leagues no more. I know that's not proper grammar. She's like, you're not in, I just need this little tiny meeting room. She's like, you're past that. So your contracts, your venue space, all of these things are showing where you are. So we're talking to major corporations about partnering with us. We're talking to nonprofits who support single moms and widowed moms to help gift them tickets to the conference so that nobody's turned away. This is my decision making. Everything that I'm doing, y'all hear me, is made to get us to this point. Long-term effects. People say, I come to the conference and change my life. Because they've never been in a space, they say, where there was no mean girl energy, all Black women about their stuff. Everybody was on that way, okay? So what I want to push you guys to, first of all, is to make decisions about your future. Make decisions about where you're going, what you want, when you're going to get there. And then take the action needed. Commit to it. Some of us are committed to doing things halfway as if we don't have a timeline. Some of us are committed as if your kids aren't going to college. My son is about to be 15. Okay? I'm motivated. I'm committed to making decisions that powerfully and potently impact my future. Okay? Number 2, I'm committed to who God says I am. Are you committed to who God says you are? Somebody asked me the other day, people actually ask me all the time, I don't know how this happens. They were like, have you always been this confident? Like, have you always been this person? I was like, I don't know. So then I said that to my husband. I asked him, and he said, you've always been this bubbly, over the top person. He said, but he said, you lost it for a while. He said, you lost it for a while. He said, you were working on, working through postpartum depression after the twins, rediscovering who I was as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, as somebody who had dreams herself and kind of put everything on the shelf to be somebody's mama, right? All this stuff. And he said, you lost it for a while. He said, but now you got the glow that it's come back. Okay. And so I was like, oh, snap. Well, thank you so much. Okay. So when we're committed to who God says we are, we start to see ourselves like God sees us. Okay. I can understand how many of us can have imposter syndrome or fear of failure, fear of rejection, all this stuff. Maybe you tried in the past, it didn't work, like you name it. All the reasons where we get in our feelings, okay? But here's something that is wonderful. Something that is wonderful is that God isn't wishy-washy about his feelings about us, okay? He does not wave back and forth. I'm sure he gets irritated with us sometimes, but he does not go back and forth about how he feels about us. Instead, he always loves. My husband preached from 1 Corinthians 13 today, and it's like, his love never fails, and he's patient with us, and he's kind with us. He doesn't wave everything that he's ever done for us in our faces when we get unappreciative. Like, he's always this kind of God with us, okay? And so in the midst of all of this, what we have to do is pivot from where we are to where we want to go. And where I want to go is seeing myself like God sees me. I want to see myself like God sees me. And if God sees me as capable, okay. If God sees me as fly, because we all fly in our own way, right? Okay. If he sees me as having unlimited potential, what? If he sees me as having this gigantic future that is mind blowing and amazing, how dare I disagree with God? How dare I disagree with him? How dare I disagree with the creator of the universe who sees my beginning and my end and says, girl, you about to kill it. He might not say it like that, but that in my mind, that's what I hear the Holy Spirit say, girl, you better go get it. That's what I hear. So if he says that about me, how dare I disagree with him? So now the more I'm settled into that identity of I am who God says I am, the further I can go. Okay. The more capable I feel, the more confident I am that what I start will be finished. The more focused and grateful I am that I even have the opportunity to do the work I do or serve people or see goals come to life. Like I no longer see every day as, oh, I can just try that again tomorrow. No, because I'm focused and I'm in love with who God says I am, I'm not going to waste today. I'm not going to waste today. Yeah, I could be out there laying on the couch. But tonight, somebody needs to know that God sees you as the bomb.com. So how dare you feel any different about yourself? If he says you got this powerful end, how dare I argue with God? In Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah goes down the road, and this blew my mind. This scripture really, really blessed me. And he saw the potter working the clay on the wheel, right? And he's like, the God speaks to him. He says, listen, does the clay say to the potter, why are you making me like this? Does he argue back and forth with the one who is forming him? I hope this is helping somebody. It's helping me. Does he go back and forth with the potter and say, why are you making me to be this way? Why are you shaping me in this fashion? No, he takes the shaping because he knows that it's going to turn into something epic. So for me, I'm like, God, I know you're working on me. I know you're building something incredible inside of me. I know that. How dare I argue with my creator about how he's forming me into that promise? How dare I? Because God's doing something incredible in you. How dare I think less of myself than the creator of the universe thinks about me? So you should be walking differently after this live. You should be talking about your vision differently after this live. You should be showing up like everybody and they mama is waiting on you to share what you do with the world. You should be shooting your shot like you know it's guaranteed. You should be standing, and even I had to work on this, right? One of my we're in talks now with Forever 21 about the conference. Been talking to their program manager for diversity and inclusion and everything that they're working on, what their vision is for the year and all this kind of stuff, right? Whoop, whoop. Excitement. And I had to come to the plate like, oh, my ladies show up. Oh, we're going to be 150 strong in October. What? Oh, it's going to be an epic experience. Oh, we're creating a wellness pop-up shop experience for our attendees this year. Like if y'all go to my Instagram and you see the reel I did, like there's this big gigantic hallway and it's going to be filled with vendors and you can just get your whole pamper life on. Like, listen, Sephora is getting an email from me today Y'all feel me? This is where we're going with this. So my thought pattern is, how do we take it up to the next level? I had to walk into the meeting like, y'all need what we have. Not just me needing y'all. Yeah, run me that check, right? But simultaneously, you guys need to be showing support to BIPOC tribes, BIPOC women's communities, Black and brown sisters. It's Black History Month. All of this. I'm committed to who God says I am. So I got to walk in with a different level of audacity and confidence and tenacity and relentlessness. Okay. Number 3, I'm committed to the result. Okay. Number 1 is I'm committed to powerful decision making. I'm going to make choices that are in alignment with my next. Okay. Number 2, I'm committed to who God says I am. All right. I see myself like he sees me. So I got to walk different. All right. Then number 3 is I'm committed to the result. I'm committed to the result. If you can see your future, right? Every single one of us sees certain things that might trigger this vision. Like, you might see somebody on stage. One of my ladies, she was like, I saw someone on stage and I just knew I could do that too. Bet. You see somebody with a successful business, bet I could do that. I know I can. You see someone with the house of your dreams. I see you, Rondell. You see someone with the house of your dreams. You know what? I can do that. You see somebody who's able to write 5 and 6 figure checks to the organizations that they want to partner with. I want to do that. Right? And you might be able to do it, but not on the level that you want to yet. Okay. So you got to be able to see the result before you get there. My event coordinator, Teresa, when y'all come to the conference, y'all can meet her. And we were talking, this was maybe 2020, because we had a small micro event. I was her only client who did not cancel all their events for 2020. And so we did a small event. We were masked, right? And we did, maybe it was about 30 women, 35 women total, and we got like a ballroom for like 80. So everybody was split, spread out, and it was a great setup. Everyone had an incredible time still. And she was sharing, she said, I think these are your core people. Like, I think, this is, your people. When you have conferences, we just invite these people. And I was like, listen, that's not what I see. So that's not what I see. When I see Momathon, when I see the Momathon Conference, I see a ballroom full of hundreds of women, right, who are coming and getting exactly what they need to run their race well. That's what I see. I was like, the result that I see as the visionary and as the leader of this movement is this. So now all of my decision making is connected to doing more. Not less, not comfort. So she does very intimate retreats, right? Where she literally hand selects people to go and go to a beautiful hotel and the beach and everything. She does private retreats, right? I said, no, for Christina, for Momathon, we want to, whosoever will, let them come. That's our field. She does very elite VIP experiences. Christina is like, oh, you don't have no money? I'll send you an invoice and you can pay as you go. Like, whosoever will, let them come. 2 completely different experiences for different types of women, right? It's all beautiful. Okay. But for different types of people. And so in the midst of all of this, we have to be committed to the result. What's the result that you're working on? It's almost like you see it in your mind and now you got to figure out the how. You have to figure out the how, okay? I want y'all to feel that in your heart, that it's okay for you to navigate figuring out how. That's all right. And it's okay. I'm going to cut off Instagram. Here we go. If you guys have questions, I want you to feel free to drop them in the chat. But I just want you all to feel comfortable loving your results. How will I know when I get there if we haven't itemized it out? If we don't see it as clearly as you see me on the screen, if you don't hear it as clearly as you hear me right now, okay? We have to be committed to the result. I know this is my next. I know it's for me. I know this is who God says I am. And it doesn't mean my brain isn't going to offer me all kinds of crazy other thoughts. They do. My kids, we were talking on the way home from church, and one of my sons, he said something like, a good way to think is this is the worst thing that could happen. So if it happens, you're not disappointed. I said, no. I said, there's such a thing as self-fulfilling prophecy. I said, which can go in a good way or it can go in a bad way. It can go one of two ways. And so you're allowed to tell yourself a good story and lean on the good happening instead of the bad. You're allowed to think in a higher way, on a bigger level, because you're committed to the result. I'm committed. I'm all in. There were some things that I just jumped on this year. I'm all in. Signing the contracts for the conference, all in. I'm all in. This is my life's work. I was sharing that with Rondell earlier. This is my life's work. Y'all are not going to look up and see me having shut down all the Momathon pages. I'm finished. I quit. This is my life's work. Is learning better and better ways to speak to our community so that you guys always feel seen, so that you feel like here in this space, you have the tools you need to excel, to show up strong for your family, but most importantly, to show up strong for yourself. Some of our husbands are like, hey, we're making decisions and doing things and jumping. Even when I made certain business decisions this year, I said, babe, I did run it by my husband. Like, listen, this is what sis is thinking about doing. And he was like, I support you, because Momathon is not a hobby, right? It's not a hobby. Like, now it is a overflowing entity. I'll put it like that. We're doing all right. Okay. And so because of that, because we're positioning ourselves for more and more, I'm like, listen, like, failure is not an option. Quitting is not an option. This is our life's work. And all of the skills and everything that I've learned over time, now as my husband is starting his podcast, and he's like interviewing the National Baptist Convention president type stuff, like the state presidents of the ministry stuff. He's like walking in ground level at this place, right? And we're able to work through and sort through so many of these challenges, but it's a blessing because in some places I've been in here already, right? And then other options, I'm able to pull from his knowledge and his expertise because he's been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. So we're growing together. We're committed to the family results. Just because my business is picking up, we're not going to stop homeschooling our children, right? That's a commitment for the Garretts. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? What result are you pushing towards that you are passionate and relentless about? What vision do you see that you know it's just not debatable? I know this is going to happen, and I am willing to do all the work. I'm willing to learn and show up and invest and deliver and all of these things to blow people's minds. I am willing to do this. I'm willing. I'm all in. I'm all in a way that should energize you to continue to push fast forward on what you know is for you. Okay. So as you're committed to your process, which may look different than mine, okay, your business might look different. Your idea may be different. But some of us, we're just delayed because of the how. So we go back and forth of if this is even for me. 2020, I was like, Essence Magazine, right? We did that last year. Then somebody asked me at the end of last year, what's your vision? What are you going to be working on for 2023? And I was like, corporate speaking and TV. Crystal clear, right? Rondell says, I'm willing to continue to do what it takes to keep making an impact in the lives of moms who want to start businesses. I'm here for it. All the sauce. Here for every bit. Right? And some of us, we are starting, we're working, we're showing up, but our intention, like there's doubt in our minds. And because there's doubt in our minds, it leaks into how we deliver. That's another conversation, right? Where you're a little unsure. So your unsureness just leaks out to everywhere else. Everything that y'all heard here tonight is going to happen. It's happening already. I'm in full confidence. We're just sitting in it, right? So for those of you who are in the process of building things, remember to make powerful decisions that align you with where you want to go, okay? What is that next business decision? What is that conversation you need to have with your family? What are the requirements you need to put on yourself to take better care of yourself as you build? One of the reasons I went to live tonight at 7 instead of 6, because I needed to go run. And if I waited until 7, it was going to be dark. So I needed to run and shower before I came in here and talk to y'all. Yeah. Taking better care. Intentionally so. So y'all telling me Christina got a whole husband who's still happy. We've been married almost 17 years. And I got 5 kids and they're homeschooled and they're with me all the time. And you're a community leader and you show up consistently for your tribe and you're planning this women's event and you speak and do this and do that. I don't want anybody to look at me and say, oh, it's not possible. I can't. Like, that's the whole reason we're here. It's for you to say it's possible for me too. That's it. For you to feel the possibility in your soul. For you to say, I'm no different than her. God didn't give me any less sauce or black girl magic or caramel or, vanilla girl magic, whoever's watching. Whatever kind of magic you got, sis. God didn't give you anything less. And because of that, we'll show up like we mean it. We'll deliver like we mean it. We won't hide because we're confident people are looking for us. I told somebody the other day, I was like, everywhere I go, I meet someone that is going to push me to my next level. I was in the Fresh Market. I don't know if y'all have a Fresh Market. It's like bougie Publix. And so we have one right down the street from our house. And I'm in there in my sweats looking like a whole dude. Okay. Straight up dude. But my hair was cute. And I see a lady in there with some fabulous shoes on. I say, excuse me, ma'am. Like, you are just so fabulous. Are you going to work? We start talking about coffee. And as we're chatting, I asked her, I said, well, do you mind me asking, what do you do? She said, I'm a judge. Young lady, she must have been like 40. She said, I'm a judge here in the city. I said, really? What a cool job. And she looks at me and she says, what do you do? And I said, I'm a productivity coach for working moms. And she said, oh. She said, I know people who need what you do. This does not surprise me because everywhere I go, I meet people who need my services. If you got kids and you feel like you're doing too much and you got big goals, there are people that need that, right? If you help women build businesses or you help, like all these things that you do, people need it. But then we walk around like, sort of, kind of, what do you do? And then you tell the other things, right? So I was like, listen, this is what I do. This is who I do it for. I got her card. We're going to lunch, right? But everywhere I go, one of our ladies who came and she just wrecked the house with her fabulousness. If anybody's watching and knows her, tag Cherry Wells into the chat. I come into the Starbucks down the street from my house to work at Starbucks like I always do. Come in and sit next to her. She looks focused on her computer. I said, she is just fabulous. Excuse me, what are you working on? What are you working on? And she's like, oh, she makes wigs, right? Fabulous wigs. Like, I'm talking about she just be killing the game. She said, I'm taking a wig making class on like building your business. I said, I love it. You know, I said, that's my tribe. Like, we're your people. She said, are you? I was like, we're your people. And we started chatting. We exchanged information. I was like, hey, come follow me on Instagram. She does. When I say the following weekend, she was up in the conference. She was in the conference the following weekend, left her kids and everybody at home, and just blessed us with her fabulousness. How gorgeous she was and her energy. She just brought all of it to us and enriched our tribe in so many ways. I got ladies that I'm like, oh, your hair is cute. She said, thank you. I bought it from Cherry. I'm like, really? Like, even our ladies patronize her business. This is just how we do. We like to buy stuff. The Momathoners like to shop. I say all that to say this. If I decided to hold all of this in, okay, if I decided not to show up and not to do the things, if I decided, I'm going to play it small, I'm not going to reach out to new people, I'm not going to connect with the people that I see in my peripheral area, if I decide I was just going to, I'm just going to work on these 25 ladies, these 30 ladies, just these folks, and I go after any new people, how many people would miss out on their blessing and their next level because of me? Because I'm being stingy. I'm committed to the process. What I see in my mind, I'm committed to it. I'm committed to bigger. I'm committed to being the one-stop shop for female women, for women leaders who love God and love their families. And they're birthing something epic into the world, like right here. And so as we work on all of these ideas, as you build this stuff out, don't get confused on the what, okay? Don't get confused on the what. Commit to the what. See it in your mind, write it in your journal. If y'all got to do one of them, a little ugly vision boards, because y'all know they don't be that cute, but I digress. That's another conversation. We talked about that the other day. If you need to put on your vision board because that you're visual person and you need to see it, or you want to make it sexy in Canva, whatever you need to do, okay? For it to feel close to you, do that. Do it. Commit to the what, okay? And then get support on how. Okay, and then get support on how. All right. So I've been live for almost an hour now. I'm going to go and eat me some dinner and bring it down for the night. Before I go, if you have been hanging out with me all this time, if you came and you were like, Christina's spilling the tea, and I want to be here, I want her to kick me in my behind and tell me, girl, get it together. This is your year, but only if you take some action, right? If you're here and you've hung out with me all this time, I want to open my virtual doors to you, okay? If you are an ambitious mom, you love the work that you do, you're committed to making it happen, you're committed to your family, building legacy, and then you also see your dream as larger than life, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get there, okay? I would love to work with you. I really would love to work with you. Our doors are open for 6 months of one-to-one coaching, okay? 6 months of us talking just like this every single week to help you build your dream in a way that's sustainable. In a way that's sustainable. One of my favorite Instagrammers, Felicia Kelly, she put up the other day, stop hiring coaches who don't know your life. Like if you are married and you keep going to this person who's like, girl, don't worry about that man, build your business. And that's why it'd be a whole lot of them. Out here talking about couple goals one week and then the next week, nothing. Okay? Because they out of alignment. Like, stop. Okay. So anyway, I've been honored to support you guys in this facet for over a decade. We've been building this thing for a long time. This was not I got bored during the pandemic and started a Facebook page. This is not what we did, right? We've been here and been true to this process. You guys have seen the growth. You've seen the collaborations with Essence and Fox and featured in Forbes and Yahoo Lifestyle and Parenting and multiple universities around the country and the Housing Authority and Hyatt Regency and Red Table Talk, baby. We are true to this mission, okay? You can Google it to find out. It's up to you. But the moral of the story is we want to bring all that sauce to help you bring your dream to life. Our clients range from homeschooling moms who want to start a hustle to attorneys and actresses, oh my goodness, politicians and doctors and women who are entrepreneurs and veterinarians and a plethora of different type of dope women. You hear me? Just all different kinds of phenomenal women who want to produce something epic in the world and they can see it crystal clear. They see it crystal clear, but how? I don't know. How I'm working it? I don't know. Somebody said I already scheduled my one-on-one. Yes. How am I working all this together? How is it going to sync? Like Christina's husband's still smiling. My husband is not smiling lately. He's not looking. I've been a little bit too work heavy. See, the internet will tell you when your husband says you still working, that he's hating on you and he's jealous of your progress. Over here, we say, how do we organize our day to get done the most important things? Let's streamline and leave off the rest of the stuff. Okay, let's leave all this other stuff off. Let's do what's necessary to get you to your dream. And then an added bonus onto the 6-month coaching is that we walk with you to help you get more eyes on it. Okay, to help you get more eyes. Because here's the truth of the matter. I'm gonna use this as an example, sis, but don't be mad. I was like, listen, I don't like DM people and just say, hey, buy my coaching. I was like, because y'all can look at the fruit and determine if you want me to coach you or not. You can look at the pages and pages and pictures of beautiful brown women who come to our conferences. You can hear the testimonials of women who've worked with me. You can Google me and see all the logos that are all over the place on the website and on my speaker stuff. Baby, you can just look. I don't DM nobody about no coaching. Occasionally I might follow up like, hey, we didn't get a chance to connect, whatever. But here's what's funny. One of my sisters, one of my ladies, we worked together for several weeks. It was like 2 years ago. And she messaged me. She was like, my entire life is on fire. Literally, these are her words. She said, everything is chaotic. She said, I'm working all the time, but I'm not making no money. She said, I homeschool my kids, but we're not spending time together. My husband is looking crazy because I'm always working, always doing the things. She was like, this is not working. Y'all know when it's not working. There's nothing I can say on this live tonight that can make you say what you're doing is not working. You already know if it is or isn't. I don't need to come and like DM you or send you flyers or nothing. Like when it's conference time and you say you're interested in the conference, I'll reach out, right? I do my due diligence in these ways because you said you wanted to come. Because last year you emailed me talking about y'all look like y'all had fun. I'm sorry, I missed it. Rondell said, I'm so over the DM sales pitches. Listen, it worked for somebody. So that's why they keep doing it, I guess. I don't know. But it is of my understanding that you let people come to you. When you know you're ready and you know things could be better, that's when you reach out for coaching. When you're like, okay, I'm working on my brand and building it, and now I want to establish myself as a thought leader. What a sexy word. That's a different ball game. Okay? That's a different ball game. It just is. So when we're moving in that direction, only you know when you're in those shoes. I can't force you to be there. It's like going to church all your life. It's like going to church all your life, and then, you hear Jesus loves you over and over and over again, right? You hear it all the time. You go to church all your life, you hear that Jesus loves you, but one day it hits you like, he loves me? Me? Like I am? With my raggedy self? And then you come crawling down the aisle towards the preacher, sobbing and snotting, because all of a sudden it hit different, right? It's the same way. Rondell says there needs to be rules or something, because you can't just go from hello to buy my program. That is so true. My thought pattern is you set yourself as a light. I got my ring light on today, right? You set yourself as a light, and be a lighthouse and let people come to you when they're ready. Okay. You cannot force people to have a come to Jesus moment. You can't force people to be like, I know my business is below its potential. That's what she does. She sells business coaching. You can't force people to do that. Simultaneously, we have to show up in total authenticity at the same time. Listen, I know I got the sauce, and I know I can help you hit your goal. So I'm not about to, go find. I genuinely do love knowing who y'all are, and like your families and how old your kids are. Like that helps to curate our content, because most of our ladies have kids who are elementary school age, middle school age, high school, right? Not everybody is an empty nester. Some people are, not everybody is. Okay. So when we have those conversations, it helps me to curate the space, because some of us, we're trying to take kids to sports and work on our business and sex our husbands and maybe you want a six pack, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you just want to lose like that extra, like that back there. You know what I'm talking about? Me too, girl. We got to do these things. So we curate our space to meet those needs of the women who are here, right? So the moral of the story is this: if you have been hanging out with me now for this hour, if you feel as though I'm your person, yeah. If you got doubts, you can, go to the link in bio or Google or whatever. But if you know I'm your person, and you have big goals, you're a multitasking superhero, bossy mom who is made for more, and you're like, but I just don't know how to organize all of this to make it work, then I'm your coach. I would love to work with you for 6 amazing months. And yes, we're going to blow your mind. And yes, it's going to be incredible. And yes, you're going to have homework to help you press fast forward to get to your goal. Okay. But we want to do so much, but make it sustainable. We want it to be sustainable. We don't just want to, zoom, right? We don't just want to zoom, hurry up and get there, because then you get to overflow and you don't know what to do with it. Then you get to overflow and you got this opportunity to be on TV or do this or do that, and you're not prepared. Right? So we're positioning. We're working on our positioning. We're working on who we want to be as we walk into our next level. We're working on making sure that we keep our families engaged, right? As we walk to that next place. It's so much more than just, I want to be more productive. It is creating a life where your work, life, and rest is all integrated. All right. Big things popping. I'm excited. October 27th through the 29th is a conference. Put it on your calendar. We're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Renaissance Hotel. It is beautiful. It's going to be incredible. I'm excited. If you want to be there, make sure you're on our email list. If you're not so far, DM me your email after this is over. And I want to say that all 6-month coaching clients come to the conference for free. I know. Extra sauce. Okay. So if you're interested in working together, now is really the time, because you get to come up in there and eat ribs or whatever we have this year, shrimp and grits, like we had last year, whatever we have. You get to know that you one of the VIPs. Okay. You get to have that sauce. So I'm excited to partner with you all this year, work with you, support you to take your vision to higher heights, because I truly believe it is time. Okay. I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat. You guys be great. Have an incredible evening. And maybe I'll be live tomorrow. We'll see. Y'all just keep a lookout for a flyer, hit the bell or something when I figure out the time. Yeah. Okay. Love y'all. Have a great night.